Hi, welcome. Let's talk percentages versus percentiles. The word percentage and percentiles are similar and related, but they have different meanings. Both are really important in education. There's a nice article linked here with a very nice explanation of the differences with detailed. Here's a brief explanation. Percentages versus percentiles. One example to compare these terms is the results of a test. Percentages tell you how well an individual performed on a test. For example, if a student took a test and got 34 out of 40 questions correct, you could say they earned an 85% on the test. You may say they know 85% of the material covered on the test. A percentile, on the other hand, gives you an indication of how well that person did compared to others. For example, the student may have gotten a 34 out of 40 on a test, which is an 85%, but compared to other students that have taken the test, this was only in the 60th percentile, meaning they did better than 60% of the students that took the same test because of the distribution of the data. The percentile does not measure what the student knows, it only compares the student to the other students. This might also tell you that the rest of the class, or a lot of students, did much better than 85%, since 40% of the students scored better than this student, and they got an 85. So what does it mean if the student is in the 60th percentile, and why is this called a measure of location? Remember box plots? Well, if you remember the box and whisker plot, you can think of the 60th percentile where it would be on your box and whisker plot. It would be above the median, since the median is the 50th percentile, but it would be below Q3, or the upper quartile, because that's the 75th percentile. It would show you that the student scored the same or higher than 60% of the students that took the same exam, or they scored lower than 40% of the students that took the same exam. Be sure you know that percentiles can be found from any distribution. A distribution does not have to be normal to discuss percentiles. If the data is normally distributed, the 60th percentile would be located to the right of the mean and have a positive z-score on the normal distribution. Remember, in a normal distribution, the mean, median, and mode are all equal, and the z-score of the mean is 0. 50% of the data lies above the mean, and 50% of the data lies below the mean. This is another reason it's called a measure of location. You can see the area to the left under the curve is 60%, so the student scored higher than 60% of the people who took the same test. You could also say that they scored worse than 40% of the people who took the test. The 40% would be up here. Percentiles don't measure knowledge or proficiency in a particular area. It is a comparative statistic. So remember, percentiles can be calculated whether or not the distribution is normal. Let's go back to our standardized test for just a minute. Let's say we have this 8th grade student, and it says they scored in the 85th percentile. What does that mean? How would you help an 8th grade parent interpret the percentile rank of this benchmark test? Well, the student's percentile is the 85th percentile for math. A student might misinterpret this to mean that they know 85% of the 8th grade material. This is not correct. The percentile shows that the student scored the same or higher than 85% of the other students that took the same benchmark test. These are very different meanings. It does not explain what the student knows or does not know. It simply compares the student with other people who took the same assessment. Thank you for watching. I hope this started your thinking about the difference between percents and percentiles.